This dude, I hope you're ready for this. This is going to be a crazy episode. Guys, I want to say welcome to the last Drag and Drive news of 2023 presented by Summit Racing. Y'all, it's going to be a great show. We kind of rambled a little bit on Wednesday night. We're going to kind of ramble a little bit towards the end of this one, but we've got a ton of stuff. We got records that were broken this year. We talked Wednesday night about 55 event record or class records that were broken. We're going to go over some of those. We're going to talk about the Sweet Patina built for Drag and Drive, which is an international racer this time. And then, dude, you've got some. How many memes do you have for the Howard's Cams comedy segment?
I tell you what, I put in a lot, being that it's our last show of the year. There's got to be probably at least 20.
It's awesome. Well, guys, good morning. Eric, hit that button. Let's kick this thing off and we'll get going.
All right.
Dude, it's so weird getting notifications on my phone that we're live everywhere.
Right.
Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. My phone's like just do as the intro hits. Guys, I want to say good morning. I want to say Happy New Year. I know we're not quite there yet, but that happens tomorrow night. So it's kind of exciting to do that. For all the folks that are listening on the podcast to this, you're gonna get this same day for the first time, maybe ever. I don't know. I'm going inside right after this and I'm gonna download this. So you guys are listening to this as real time as possible. Um, that is one update. I want to find a way for us to live stream this to the podcast.
Yeah.
That's what I want to find. I want to be able to do that. We're going to work on that. Guys, listen. My name's Mike Narks. I'm the host of the Dragon Drive News and Show. I'm also I'm gonna live it, man. I'm a Dragon Drive statistician. I got real nerdy last night at about 11:30 and started digging in, and that's when I wrote about all these records. So just wait until you hear some of that stuff later in the show. Eric, introduce yourself. Tell them what you do, man.
I am Eric White. I am the co host of the Dragon Drive News and Dragon Drive Show. Do everything from graphic design, help with our artwork, editing, photo editing, video editing, you name it. I'm here to help with that. When I'm not doing all that, I am overgrowing my channel, which is 815 LSX Swaps, which is closing in on 3,000. We're at like 2940 something. So,
Oh man, that's great. That is great. Well, you have certainly earned that, dude. You've put a ton of work in over there, and we know you put a ton of work in here. Well, guys, listen, we can't do this without you. I want to ask you this morning, since this is the last show, and I don't want to beg and plead. I want to ask, will you please hit that share button as we kick this thing off? All right, dude. And guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this program. You are our race car friends. Race car friends. We can't do this without you. Your likes, shares, comments really make this whole thing work. And I'll tell you, getting tagged in something at 1:30 this morning by somebody really kind of it pushed me another 20 minutes. I'll tell you, it was really cool. And guys, we can't do this without our sponsors: Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. And we're going to talk next week about our new sponsor for 2024, going into that year, and what that's going to mean. We're going to move some things around on the news and show. And dude, excited is the word of the day. I'm going to say it 17 times. If you are a drinking person, hit that drink as we get through this. So let's kick this thing off, dude. There's a lot of stuff to cover. We're going to work through this. We're trying to keep this under an hour. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it or not because there's so much information. Guys, sick week is in 29 days.
wild.
Pause for dramatic effect. 29 days.
Wild.
That means 4 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, I'll be in the gymnastics meet. Then I'll be getting on an airplane in 4 weeks and one day. I'm pumped. I'm telling you. So I'll fly in. My plane will land at about 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon at Orlando, and then I'm gonna Uber my way over there and just take over. Now, listen, that means you only have 3 weekends to get your car ready.
That's scary.
Dude, if people aren't working on their stuff while they're listening to this, there's a problem. You
Yeah,
got to be working on your stuff, man. 3 weekends, that's it? That's all you got? Because,
right.
like, if registration stuff's gonna start Sunday, you've gotta be on the road Saturday so you can get there early so you can be in line early Sunday morning so you can get through and do some testing. It's gonna be
Yeah,
crazy, man. I'm really excited. This event is gonna be nuts. I do wanna say I talked to Mike Westberg, see if he was coming. He said he's not coming to Sick Week. So listen, that means the overall champion is available. Somebody can take his defending champ or defending title spot and run with it. Currently record is 646. Can we see that drop this year? I think we probably can. Rich Guido says he's on his way to put his motor together. It takes him a week to get to Sick Week, anyways. He better hurry up.
yeah. He just said 4 days to get there, so he's got less than 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. That is insane. All right, well, there is a brand new class for this. Heavy metal is what they're calling it. I kind of like this setup. There's no chassis or tire restrictions. Do whatever you want. They don't care. Just has to weigh 3,550 pounds. Thought that was pretty cool. And it has to have a stock body, which means steel roof and quarters, fenders, all that kind of stuff. It can have a fiberglass hood and trunk lid, but that's it. Everything else has to be a factory body or a stock body. So that's kind of cool. And then minimum weight 3,550 pounds. Thought that was it sounds light to a lot of our drag and drive cars, but it's actually pretty heavy in the
Yeah,
racing world. So they're going to award the top 3 in this class. And then they're going to also award the quickest heavy metal naturally aspirated car as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I see a Facebook user here saying 3550 is weak. I think 3550 has to do something with the NHRA licensing. I didn't dig too deep into it. I just heard that or I saw that on a post somewhere. Somebody's trying to explain it. I didn't read it. I'm not going to be racing in heavy metal. So I'll dig deeper and have more information next week because that's what's going to happen with the news. We're going to dig deeper and dive into that kind of stuff. So kind
yeah,
of about that, kind of ready to see all the cars that are coming. I did talk to Clark Rosenstengel, who is pictured here in the back of this, and he is actually not going to race in this event. In heavy metal is what he said. He's crew chiefing for or co-piloting for Steve Morris for this event. So it's kind of
nice.
cool. And then I asked him, "Hey, will this bring Joe Barry out of retirement?" And he said, "Yes, it should." So kind of
Nice.
that. Yep.
Nick Deal here is saying we don't have an engine. Fingers crossed next week we start getting parts.
Well, if anybody can do it, it's those guys. I'm telling you, they have worked so hard in the past. It's crazy to see the stuff that they've come up with. They built that orange car, rebuilt that orange car in like 3 weeks, I think, total, completely from nothing to that. Like cut out an old cage, put a new cage in, and went sevens. So pretty
Yeah,
cool.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
That is.
right. So we've got some more event updates here. We've got Carolina Drag Cruise. Registration for that opens up on Monday already.
It's
Uh,
crazy.
yeah, BC Drag It Challenge. Their registration opens up on January 2nd, which is what? Tuesday.
hmm
So a day after Carolina Drag Cruise, the BC Drag It Challenge opens up their registration. Big Dog Brawl Track and Cruise, which I see here in the comments. That event is April 19th through 21st at Crossville Dragway to Brainerd to Paradise. So that's a first time event for
hmm
those guys. That should be exciting. Big Sky Race Week opens up their registration on January 13th. Um, the details for the Big Dog Brawl will be released. It says January 2nd, but they're saying here January 15th. So
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yep.
we'll want to update our notes on that one.
Yep. I'll do that now.
And then Cruise and Lose registration opens up on January 19th. So we've got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events that registration or information is going to be coming here in the
hmm
next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, and in my opinion, Big Dog Brawl needs to if they're doing their event April 19th, January 15th probably needs to roll out some serious timeline on their registration, because they'll need to go ahead and get everything doing that. So they'll need to get everything rolling for that, because they've got a lot of promotion to do. The one good thing about them is they're in a perfect part of the country for this. It's early in the year. You know, you'll have Carolina Drag Cruise. The folks that have missed Carolina Drag Cruise will now be able to get into something that stays pretty close to them. So Crossville's kind of Knoxville, Tennessee area around there. So it's going to be a really good opportunity. I think this is going to be a good event. And again, 3 days, 3 different tracks. So kind of neat, 150, 200 miles worth of driving. It looks like to me. I mean, I don't know what their route's going to be, but it seems pretty neat. So I'm excited. Anytime we can have new events coming on, and dude, we've already got 31 events on the schedule
Right.
for 2023, 2024, and we only had 32 in 2023. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sticking to my 53 events.
And I assume that we'll be reaching out and probably have those guys on the show somewhere around the time that they're starting
Yep.
to get things rolling, so they can kind of come on here and or
Yep.
on our Wednesday night on the show and kind of
Yep.
promote some of that as well.
Yeah, we have Austin with Big Sky Race Week on the 10th. Maybe we can holler at Brad and the guys over at Big Dog and see if they want to jump on maybe for 10 or 15 minutes and kind of go over some stuff. I don't want to obviously talk about all the details that'll be announced on the 15th, so maybe we wait till after that. Maybe we do
Yeah.
the 17th with them and can kick off some stuff once we have all the details. So kind of exciting there, guys.
We also
I-
got another note here saying Miles of
oh,
Mayhem
perfect.
registration is January 6th. So
Perfect. I'm adding that to our notes now.
let's get that added. So that just adds another one that registration's coming here in the next week. So we're gonna we're gonna jump into the new year feet first with all these
Yes.
registration and events kicking off. That's awesome.
Yep. Now, hear me out. This is where I get a little nerdy. Think of how much drag and drive is changing the atmosphere of drag racing. Okay.
Yeah.
One, we are registering early. A lot of events don't, it's just day of, you kind of walk up and sign up, right? But if we have Carolina Drag Cruise at, say, 60, 70 cars, if you have BC Drag It Challenge, they're limiting theirs to 150. You have Miles of Mayhem, which is, I think, 200 or 250 this year. So that's 400, let's say 450. You have Big Dog, let's say they get 50, that's 500. You have Big Sky Race Week at 200, that's 700. And Cruise and Lose, they're going to have, I think, 75 or 100 they're going to. So what's that? 800 registrations in the month of January for drag and drive events.
Right. And then we
Okay.
just got another note here. A local guy is setting up a drag and drive in upstate New York. What's the best way for him to contact you to get in the list of 24 drag and
Oh,
drives?
bro, I hope that dude's ready for an inundated messenger box. It's going to be crazy. Jim, send Eric and I a message on Facebook and put that person in there. Please, let's talk about this, because that's one that we can really, I mean, that will sell out, because there's not been anything really in the Northeast in a long time. So those folks are going to be excited to have an opportunity to do some racing. So if we think about the 800, and we think, let's say that that's an average of, let's just call it $200 registration each. That's what, 16,000. I don't do public math. That's not 16,000. It's more than that. $160,000 worth of registration into drag racing events already just in the month of January. That's how things can change for drag and drive events. I'm telling you, it's going to be nuts, man. Bring it on. I'm ready. Okay, let's move on, because I could talk about that. And I'm going to work my best to get the podcast edited and out. And then I'm going to drop each one of these as a video, maybe today or tomorrow. I think we're just going to chop these down and do all that. All right. Next up, guys, Hot Rod Pod. Are you listening to it? If you haven't, get it on your mind. They do a video. If you guys like the video, I love it. But the one we're talking about this week is Jeff Lutz in episode 2.
Yep, I
If
listened
you
to that
have,
yesterday while
oh
I
my
was
gosh,
working on
dude.
artwork for the circuit.
And I get it. I love drag and drive, and I know that dude's a huge drag and drive racer, but that dude's just cool, man.
Yep.
It's just cool. So they did, again, it was a recording from SEMA. So it was Brian Loans, David Freiberger, Jeff McCann was out there, and they hosted Jeff Lutz for an hour. One thing that I thought was really cool, and I actually sent you this. I was like, "You've got to listen to this," because at the 7 minute and 30 second mark, he says he wants to lower his all-time record of 6:19. Guys, nobody's ever been faster than him,
Right.
and he did that in 2016. We have better technology now. We have faster cars now, and we still haven't knocked off the 619. So he said he's not done. So he's not
Yep.
done with Dragon Drive. He still owns Mad Max, and I think with what he said later in that episode about his eighth mile learnings from No Prep Kings and all that stuff, that he'll go much faster,
Yeah.
which is really really cool. So can we see him back? He said he wouldn't want to tell anyone that he's coming, and he would most likely just show up. He kind of joked, "Can I just show up? Can I just show up?" And nobody said yes, but I don't think they would turn that dude away.
Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't say yes, but nobody said no either.
That's right. So I want to look next week, do some digging for the Wednesday night show, and we'll see if maybe if the MPK schedule is out, we can kind of do some math. We can see, because the struggle with Hot Rod Drag Week and NPK is a point series. Well, Drag Week, that would be towards the end of their season, and so they're going to need every point they can possibly get.
Right.
So that's where it kind of becomes an issue on that side. That's why, I mean, really, and he said in the podcast in 2016, the show took off, and they couldn't make it work.
Yeah. But if he can't make Hot Rod Drag Week, could we push him towards a different event?
I don't know. I think that dude is probably going to just do Drag Week,
Yeah.
in my opinion, just because that's what he's always done. One, but then two, if he's coming to break his record, which I think would be the only reason he would be coming back,
True.
um, he's going to come back and do it at Drag Week because that's where his record stands.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm excited about that. So, guys, you got to put that on whatever your favorite podcast app is. Load that, and then while you're scrolling for that, load the Drag and Drive Addiction podcast, because our plan for 2024 is to do some podcast only style episodes that'll be a little shorter than what these are, and kind of dive into some stuff. When you're
Yeah.
not listening to this. So,
That was a really good episode. I listened to the whole thing,
yeah,
and Brian's voice is just so easy to listen to.
yeah,
It was a good episode, and I met Jeff at Drag Week. Man, when it was in Byron, I don't remember what year that was.
yeah. I don't. I'd have to
18,
look.
19?
Dude, I don't know. I think 16 was his last year to do
Really?
Drag Week.
Man, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. It could have been.
That's what happens when you get old, man.
But he was just hanging out. I just saw him sitting there, and there was nobody around. I walked up and chatted with him for a little bit, and like he said in the podcast, he's just a regular guy. You
Oh yeah.
wouldn't think anything different.
Well,
He
and that's one of the coolest things about drag racers in general. Like, there's very few that are, I would say, unapproachable.
right.
You just got to pick your time. That's probably the biggest thing. That's one other thing they talked about in the in that
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, he did. He when they're busy, they got to get work done, but when
Yeah,
they're not busy, he said he'll stand around and
yeah,
wait until the last person leaves. So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely a
Pretty
good
cool.
episode. If people haven't listened to that, they need to go check that one out.
Yep. Well, moving on. Drag and Drive awards are being shipped today. The first round goes out today. I know. I apologize. It's taking me a little longer to do that, guys. My local Walmart hasn't had boxes for me to put these things in, and none of the boxes at like USPS fit these things. So they come in a really nice box. I want to thank Revved Up, Laserworks, Travis Wise for hooking us up with a beautiful award, but also a beautiful box, because it really is something that people should be proud to get. And I mean, I know I would be if I had one from him. So it's pretty
Right?
cool. And then, so those will go out. The first round of 8 will go out today. I've got Stefan Gustafson and Michael Westberg, Kyle Amelano are all in that, because they are, out of the country. So I wanted to knock those out first and get those on the way, and then several others that are here in the States. It'll be pretty easy. So they're coming out, and then I'm picking up more boxes. The Walmart said they should have more boxes today, so I should be able to grab the rest of the boxes and be able to package those and get those out on Tuesday. So, anyways, just wanted to give everybody an update. I know there were, it's one of those things, like I meant to do it last week, but guys, listen, it's been busy. I don't know if anybody knows that or not, but
Yeah.
pretty busy. So again, it was really cool to do that, and I can't wait till these start arriving at people's place, and we can go from there. All right. One of the biggest supporters we've had all year is Molly Motorsports, but one of the coolest things about them is they're not only cool engineers, they get to do cool stuff with cars and they're technical geniuses, but they do drag and drive. George Wright and our boy Eric Grillio both raced at Drag Week this year. Eric raced Rocky Mountain Race Week, Drag Week, and Race Week in his Nova. All three in the Nova. Dude, he said it was the hardest thing he's done in a long time. So I'm excited about that, guys. I want to say thanks to them. We're going to play this. This will be the last time you guys see this actual commercial here. We're rewriting a script. Obviously, we have to update all the stuff that went on with all that, and then we'll have all new artwork and everything from the year with them. So I'm excited about that, and you guys will have that next week. But let's play this last one for the last episode of 2023.
Molly Motorsports is the official piston of DragAndDrive.com. Molly's Power Pack piston is the perfect candidate for your drag and drive car. Molly Motorsports competes in drag and drive events and supports our community. Project manager Eric Grillio raced a 10-second stick shift Nova at Hot Rod Drag Week 2022. He's also competed in Rocky Mountain Race Week last year with his C10 truck. Visit mollymotorsports.com for the most recent line of products.
Awesome, man. I love those guys. And I didn't really get a chance to get really close to George's Duster just because of scheduling it. Like I never made the time. I'm not going to say I didn't. I just didn't make the time to get over there and look at it closely. But it's a super cool car. I really hope that he comes back out in that thing and we can have some fun. Maybe I can get a leg in that passenger seat and we'll see what it's all about.
There you
Uh,
go.
yeah, the show Wednesday night, dude. You wanna run us through some of this stuff here?
Yeah, we did a recap of the 2023 numbers. So just a few things from the show. 4,300 racers in 2023.
Is insane.
That's crazy. 32 events, which we've talked about a couple times.
Yep.
And did you say we're already over that for this year?
We're at 31 right now. Yeah. Big Dog made or Track and Cruise made 31 events for the
Nice.
list. Yeah.
And if we have this upstate New York one, then
Yeah. That'll
maybe
be
that's
32.
32 right there.
Yeah.
So definitely wild. You can see the breakdown of the number of racers by the average ET. So 6-second racers, we had 7 of them.
Yeah.
And we
Pretty
talked about it.
crazy.
Yeah, we talked about it on Wednesday night. Our biggest class was the 12-second average with 271 racers.
Yep. So this little spot right here, the quarter mile stuff, this is what's important for folks when they say they don't have anything, their car's not fast enough.
Right.
Look at that 10, 11, and 12-second cars, largest group by far. I mean, there's not even anything close to the 10-second, 11, and 12-second cars. Like you can build a 12-second car out of just about anything that's sporty.
Yeah.
You
I
know what I mean?
mean,
If you already have a project car, you can go 12s in that car. 12.99, relatively easy. There's no cage rule at that point. Some safety stuff in your set.
yeah, you can take a junkyard LS and put it in just about anything
Yeah,
and probably run 12s.
yeah. I mean, like a cam and converter in a Fox body will, like a 5.3 junkyard 5.3 and a cam converter and a good tune, and you're going 12s in a Fox body, right?
Yeah, I mean mine is gutted with a cage and it had
Mhm.
a bone stock 6.0, 200,000 miles, not even a cam on it yet. And I took it to the track and was right in that area.
Yeah.
And it
So
and
I
it
mean, like,
actually should have been faster, but your boy over here is still learning how to drive that car. And I could have definitely had it down lower into the 12s if I knew what I was doing. That was only the third time that I had driven that car down the track. So and
little
now it's
driver mod.
yeah, and now it's got twin turbo, so we'll see what it does.
Yeah, there you go. That's
But
awesome. Well, hopefully it'll do a
but
drag and drive soon.
yeah, but literally, like you mentioned, 12 seconds is not hard to do
Yeah.
at all.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Go
those
ahead.
were some of the breakdowns of that. Throughout 2023, we added 4 sponsors to the brand. We've obviously got Summit, Molly, Howard's, and Racing Junk, and then our very first sponsor was Sweet Patina.
Hmm.
A couple
Yeah.
more.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry, I was coughing. I think my fan has some dust in it.
Nice. A couple more bits from Wednesday night. We did 44 of our Drag and Drive shows. So our Wednesday night shows through the year, we did 44. We did 40 of the Drag and Drive news episodes, which is the one you're watching now. 23 live streams with more than 40 guests throughout the year. Like
Hmm.
those are some pretty wild numbers. And we had a little bit of a break throughout the year, and we still managed to do just about one every week through the whole year.
Hmm. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was a crazy year for sure, and we're past all that, and we're moving forward now. And I can't wait, man. We're full throttle, dude. We grew the social media to more than 92,000 followers.
Do you
Like
know about
we're gonna
what?
cross 100 by the end of January.
Yeah. Do you know what we started the year at roughly?
Mid 50s,
Yeah.
56, 58, something like that.
So close to doubling it, which
Yeah,
is which is obviously your goal year after year is to double. But yeah,
man, I
that's
don't know. Dude, that's intense. 3,000 posts were made across all social media last year. And what's really cool about the way we structure our social media is we typically will not post the same exact video to Instagram and Facebook and things like that. A lot of times we'll post the same like picture post, but for everything else, it's always different across everything that we do, simply for the algorithm. But then two, we don't want people to look at us on TikTok and see the same exact video on Instagram and be like, well, why am I even following them here on wherever they're at? So
yeah.
so we try and really mix it up. So you really kind of have to follow us everywhere to get all of the story, which is insane to me. So 3,000 posts, and in my notes here I have 99.8%. It's probably more than that. 99.8% of those posts feature drag and drive cars or racers. I mean, it's crazy. We have very little stuff that doesn't pertain to you guys that are watching this and the racers that are out there in this community.
Yep. I know, like, I posted a video from PRI that was the diesel
Yeah,
Corvette. So that's not a drag and drive car,
right.
but we as Drag and Drive Addiction were at PRI, so
Yep.
just featuring some of the vehicles that we saw that were there. So
Well, and I mean, obviously, the folks that follow us are car guys,
right.
and girls. Like they see that stuff and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." They think it's cool, like we think it's cool. But to look back through the posts and realize that a lot of the videos that we posted throughout the year are of cool hot rods driving on the street. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then racing at the track and stuff like that. And dude, you attended your first event with the circuit, which we don't
Yep.
have a picture of here. That's kind of the picture we use all the time, is me and you hugging under the banner there. And
Yeah.
then picture is you and I headed to Midwest Drags.
Yep. Yep. So the circuit was, I guess I would say, the first full drag and drive event that I
Yep.
attended. I've always gone to the events when they came to Byron throughout the years. Again, Drag Week and Midwest Drags when they were in
Hmm.
Byron. But yeah, the circuit I drove down was my first full event. And then my first week long event was when you and I went out to Midwest Drags.
Yeah. Dude, it's been pretty wild. We've
It,
had a
it's been
great year.
it's yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I think that trip was probably one of the best ones I've been on. I mean, we got to hang out the whole week. We
Yeah.
did a lot of driving. We
Yeah.
recorded so many videos, pictures. We're at the hotel editing until way too late in the morning, but
Yeah.
it everything worked out good. We got a lot of engagement on all of our posts, so that's all we can hope for.
Well, and again, our goal here is to just force feed as many people as possible the drag and drive community, and that's what we've done. I mean, dude, we were talking before the thing even started going that all the videos, like I'm going to have my kids sit down and add up how much reach we had throughout the year, because Instagram won't show you year to date, so
Right.
skinks. So anyways, we're going to do that.
Rod,
um
Rodney here's asking any
yep.
news on what events you'll be attending this year. Is that
Yep.
something we're gonna talk about next week or?
Yeah, currently I'm working through the schedule with my daughter's performances, and then my oldest daughter's cheer competitions, and when my wife needs me home and all that kind of stuff. Currently my plan is to attend 18 events. We'll see how many get cut because of that kind of stuff. But Yeah, 18 events, 12 of those being drag and drive centric. And then I've signed up for 6 of the Midwest Drag Race Series events as, a helper, social media, announcer, live stream host, things like that, for those events as well. So I'm kind of excited to dive off into some what I would call like, I'm not going to say real drag racing, but like those guys trailer their cars to the track, pro mod stuff, really fast cars don't have license plates, all that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
just trying to expand one, my reach, but then two, the reach of Drag and Drive, because then I'm able to talk about that in front of an entirely new audience. And the events that are close, I'm working through trying to figure out how we can get, maybe like a Drag and Drive addiction tent set up, some way to provide more information to everybody that is in attendance
Right.
at those events. So I'm kind of excited. And then, you and I've been talking about 3 to 6 events for you, ones that are close. One thing that is hard when you are still working full time at a job, as long as Eric has had, yes, he has a lot of time off, but you end up really in a schedule if you've done the same job for a while, which you have, that your boss is kind of used to you taking 2 weeks a year, maybe 3 weeks a year, maybe. And now you're
Yeah.
starting to put in like 4 and you need to be gone 2 weeks of June or something like that.
Right.
It's very difficult. It's a little bit of a balancing act, which is what I ran into at my old job was, I needed 3 weeks off in September and that wasn't going to happen by working there anymore.
Yeah.
So we're
And
working through all that and we'll probably have that figured out. I would think by Wednesday night. What do you think?
yeah, we probably have a good idea. I
Yeah.
know the local events that are coming through
Yeah.
here. We've got Six Summer,
Yeah.
One Guy's Garage, and then obviously I'll be coming down for the circuit. So
Yeah.
those are 3 that I know of offhand, and then we're gonna kind of look at the schedule and see which ones would be important for me to be at, and see if I can get
Yeah.
those into my schedule.
Yeah, and this is just probably more information everybody needs, but if Drag Week does land where we think it's going to in Michigan area, things like that, that's one of the ones that's on the list too. One, because it's the 20th anniversary, but then
Yeah.
2, it is a little closer to his house, so that helps as well. So we
Yep.
got that, and then I'll be at Rocky Mountain Race Week 1.0 this year for the first time to do the whole week. So that's
Nice.
kind of the plans. Yeah, I'm pumped. It's right in my backyard. I mean, I've got to go to that. So,
Yeah.
and it's their 10th anniversary to do that event. So it's going to be pretty cool. Going to be a great year. All right,
Yep.
dude,
So
let's move here. Let's records.
any
Records
I
were destroyed.
yeah, we got another question. I know I keep
Oh, sorry.
throwing you off here.
Sorry.
Any idea when registration for 666 will open?
I would think probably February, March, maybe something like that. They'll want to get through sick week and not deal with that at the same time, in my opinion. So I would think we'll see that in February or March. I can look back historically. I'll add that note now to look back and see when they did Death Week. But I think it was right after sick week last time.
Yeah,
So
I think that sounds about right.
yeah, should be pretty easy to figure that out. And I figure they would probably stay close to the same. All right, guys, let's move on to records because 2023 was an insane year. We talked about it on Wednesday night show that 55 records were broken throughout the year. 23 of those came from sick week, which is pretty crazy. And then
Nice.
so we went into that. I want to do a little deeper dive. I want to show some pictures. I want to talk about it a little bit on that. And that's kind of what the news is going to do. So we're going to talk about stuff on the show, and then we may dig into stuff like this a little deeper on the news. But we're going to have to hurry up because we're already at 33 minutes. So first up, Sick Week 2023, a total of 23 records were reset during their second event. Now that kind of happens because first year jitters, second year you come out, do better. We'll see more records fall again for 2024. Sick Week that again is in 29 days. So Sick Week 2023, 23 records. Michael Westberg broke the overall, obviously, with the unlimited class with the S10, which is crazy because he no longer owns this truck, with the 464 average at 214 miles an hour. That's his average, dude.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. And then next up, Alex Taylor busted off the unlimited iron is what they call it at Sick Week. She reset that record and that ET and mile an hour record with a 6.987, her first 6-second average in competition with
Yeah.
a drag and drive. So it's pretty cool. And then 206 miles an hour, 206.95 miles an hour. So her first 200-mile-an-hour average as well. So pretty crazy. And with that, she also became the fastest female in drag and drive. So pretty neat. I mean, she really did it up, and she's held on to that all year. I don't know if she's been at another event. I think she was at Six Summer. Um,
I
but
can't
she
remember.
didn't go quite as fast as there. So congratulations to her. Congratulations to Mike. Brett LaSala, dude, Snot Rocket 2.0 come out and just crushed people. Fastest radial tire ET drag and drive record. Reset the modified class record 6,743. ET average at 213 miles an hour. Pretty crazy stuff there. And then, our boy right here, Mr. Rich Guido, back to back, multi-time stick shift champion at Sick Week. Can he go back to back to back? I don't know. He's going to have some really, really hard competition this year. I know there's some super fast guys that are coming. Uh, Probably not going to make Street Week Sweden in July. That's the traveling like that's not on the cards for 2024 unless some
I think
folks want
he's
to find us some sponsors.
I think he's talking about Westberg.
Oh yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm not coming. But you and I had that conversation yesterday,
Yep.
or actually this morning. So there's some stuff we'll talk about Wednesday night. But Mike Westberg told me he is not coming to Sick Week, so that kind of told me maybe he's working on the car a little bit. Obviously maybe some time restraints to get it in the yeah to get it shipped. So I would hope that he comes back to hit up Street Week Sweden. And I mean, he ran a 403 last year. Hopefully, with a year's worth of testing, that car can go in the threes. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
On to the next event here. If you want to
Yep.
take over the Miles of Mayhem stuff.
Yep. So we had 5 records reset in their 3rd year at Miles of Mayhem. Pat Miker reset the Outlaw Class ET record with the first 4-second ET average of Miles of Mayhem with a 4.845.2.
Yep.
Now
Yeah, pretty crazy.
and that's a gorgeous car too. I've
Oh,
always loved that car.
yeah. Yeah, it's bad to the bone.
Then Dan Jackson reset the small tire class ET record with a 5.1608 average.
Yep, and actually ran 2 4s. He's our featured Sweet Patina built for drag and drive car this week, and ran 2 4s that week. So it's pretty cool.
Yep. And Bill Armstrong reset the man pedal, which is the stick shift class, ET record at 6.0052 average. And that was when he surprise visited Mr. Rich Guido.
That's right. Yeah, it was a pretty cool video. If you guys haven't seen that, you need to jump over and do that.
Yeah, he's talked a little bit about that with us on the show too. Kind of explained how that all went down. Then we've got Rocky Mountain Race Week. They had 3 records fall there. We got Corey Thompson reset the Hot Rod Class ET and mile per hour records with a 8.0865 average at 180.4 miles per hour.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yep, and he was our 3rd place overall finisher in our world champion points.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also have Matt Coating reset the NA small block ET record with a 10.254 average. This picture was taken from the Hot Rod or Rocky Mountain Race Week Facebook page. So thanks to James and the team for creating albums for each day.
Yeah, that page has really taken a turn for the better, man. They've done a great job with working on it. It's James Shower at High Speed Media, and
Yeah.
then guys, I start talking about Hot Rod Drag Week. Bryant Goldstone just come in. 8 records fell during Hot Rod Drag Week this year, which is a big number considering that event's been almost 20 years in the making now. So
Right.
pretty crazy to think that. So Bryant Goldstone resets the Ultimate Iron Class ET and mile an hour record with his 6.743 average at 212 miles per hour. He reset his own record from 2016 with a 6.857 in 2016. So went a full 10th faster this year. I mean, just absolutely crazy to see that. And then Josh Davis knocked out the modified Power Adder Class ET and mile an hour record with a 7.09, almost went 6s at 194 miles an hour to reset that class record. We look for that class to fall again this year, based on some of the stuff we've talked to Devin about. That car can go faster. They had a day where they were a little slower. They went 6s most days, but struggled at Tri-State. So, no, sorry, they struggled at I can't remember the day. It was Tri-State was when they were at Six Summer. And then I don't know if Kurt Johnson is maybe in witness protection or something, but you just can't find photos of this car. So this photo is actually from 2021. I don't know if people just don't take pictures of it. I don't know what the deal is, but I searched through all of my pictures that I took at Drag Week. I searched through several other places, like 2 other places on Facebook and their albums trying to get pictures of this thing, and finally found this one from Motor Trend from a 2021 article they wrote about Drag Week 2021. So he reset the street race big block NA record with his 875 average at 154, almost 55 miles an hour. His old record had stood since 2015. We're seeing that a lot where like these guys are finally just coming in and crushing these old records. You know, we're going to talk about Ryan Hargett in a minute. Same thing, a record from 2015. So, and Kurt Johnson is the winningest drag week racer in history with 10 wins for the 2023 event. Pretty crazy to think that that guy's gone in and done that and just crushed it year after year after year. I mean, 10
Right.
years, dude, that's crazy. He's only been racing since 2007 in this thing.
Yep.
So he's won more than half. So that's pretty awesome. Obviously, our friends Ryan Hargett and Tammy Hargett come in, crush the Super Street Small Block Power Adder record with a 7.291, and that was held by Cal Hayward since 2015, and Cal is actually coming back. Coincidence? I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But he's coming back. But he's going Super Street Big Block Power Adder with this new build. So should be pretty crazy there. I'm excited about that. 7.291 for Ryan and Tammy at 192.8 miles an hour. Pretty nuts, man. And then
And he's coming with a new car, so
yeah, he's Cal's coming with his old car. Ryan's coming with a new car. Hopefully they can get it done by drag week.
yeah, it's a new old car as well, though.
Yeah, it's a new unlimited build. So maybe this record will stand for a good long while. And then one other one I had in here, I had the picture in. I don't guess I had the picture edited. I just don't have it posted up here. Dustin Trance reset his own street race small block power adder class ET record with an insane 85048. So pretty crazy. And they're the first racers to go 850 every day of racing. So
I think
they've
that
got
one
a
will last.
program. I mean,
I
I
think
don't
that's
know
going to
how
be
you
tough to
go
beat.
quicker. Like, think of, I mean, that's 400ths of a second across 5 days of racing that
Right.
you're off. It's just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy. Well, we definitely want to say thanks to Summit Racing for being part of our program. We can't do it without those guys. They help sponsor the show and the news. And so we just ask that when you're shopping for parts, make sure you're hitting that summitracing.com spot first. We'd certainly appreciate that. And then this week's Sweet Patina, built for drag and drive. Those guys over there, they believe they should be driven. That's why they built the 57 wagon that we'll show at the end of this, and they gave us a discount code. You know what I mean? They want to take care of racers. We appreciate that. We're thankful they jumped on board. Back in 2022, like June of 2022, they came on board as our first sponsor. We appreciate them doing that. But guys, not only do they sponsor the segment, sorry, let me get back down here to my notes. Not only do they sponsor the segment, I mean, they attend races. They do all that stuff. They go to events. They drive 20,000 miles a year in a cool old car. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to do. So D&D 57 for your discount codes. They are not shipping orders. They are taking orders, but they're not shipping orders until Tuesday. But guys, I'm telling you, those guys are going to be busy. So get your order in early. You can see they've got banners, they've got decals, they've got license plates, they've got shirts, but man, they've got a whole army of products that help keep your car. I don't know. They can take old paint and make it look way better. They can help, they've got like an undercoating stuff for your frame. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's there that we don't ever even talk about. I think they have like 300 items on their products page or something crazy
Yeah.
like that. So
That sounds about right.
pretty wild. But I do have their favorite product right here next to me. The TKO hand cleaning wipes, guys. This right here, these are the bee's knees, man. I'm telling you, I'm not going anywhere without that tub or the little single individual packs, which are great. You can pick up a 10 pack, throw them in the toolbox, and have them anywhere you want to go, and that would probably last you for most of a drag week.
Yeah.
Or a drag and drive event. Well, guys, this week's feature is our boy, like we said earlier, Dan Jackson, the man that started his drag and drive career back in with Miles of Mayhem of 2022. co-pilot Cody Knudsen is what I'm going to say is his last name, and they took it in, man. They ran a best of a 5:0:57 on day one last year, and he posted on Facebook that that Cody killed it getting the race car ready all week, and it performed well. I underestimated the heat and missed some fine details on street cooling, and it finally caught up to us on the last night. This is them getting loaded up on the uh, hauler there.
Rollback.
Yeah, rollback to get to be and run back to the track. They end up sleeping in the seats that night, and Cody basically said, "I wish that Dan would put a better seat in the passenger side if we're going to have to sleep in that car again." Thought that was pretty funny. Um, Colin G said that Dan was going through water at a rate that he just couldn't continue. So whatever happened there, I've got messages out to Dan trying to find out some stories, but he's not on Facebook very often based on his posting. So we'll see. He'll reply back, and I'll have some updates to that later. But if you fast forward a few months, well, I guess April of 2023. So Miles of Mayhem's typically in June, June or July, and so they'll come. April's almost a year later. Dan posted a video thanking Rich Guido and Ted Miko for catching potential problems as they fired it up. The car sounded freaking awesome. So if you haven't done that, you need to go find Dan Jackson on Facebook and listen to that video. He said it had been on the jack stands way too long in his post. So worked well. He reset the small tire class ET record at Miles of Mayhem. Had 2 4-second passes, like we talked about. A 8:29 was his fastest of the week on day one, and then a 4:9 something on the last day of the week, and then 3 5-second passes throughout the event. So pretty cool. Ended up finishing with a 5:16:08 average for Miles of Mayhem. Again, that's an 8th mile event. So of course that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of who to talk to next. Colin had suggested that I reach out to Steve Gronick, who has the super cool little Toyota Corolla, the blue car with the huge intake out the hood and all that kind of stuff. Big turbo car, runs like sixes, insane. So he said that he had a little bit of information on the car. He said he's pretty sure it's still a 427 dry sump with a concept performance LSR block, all pro heads. He thinks it's a 94 or 98 millimeter Garrett G57 turbo. So pretty cool. I mean, it huge power for that car, and then 9-inch out back and a power glide. So I think that's like the recipe for going fast. Fox body, 98 millimeter turbo, big
427.
Yeah.
9-inch power glide.
Yeah. So the car's been 4.829. So, and that's in drag and drive trim. So you can only imagine surely that car's got low 70s in it, something like that, with a fully gutted, all it can do setup. But Steve said that he believes the car has a lot of room to grow, but the struggle in Canada is the track prep. So for radial tires. So Steve and I actually talked for about an hour after that, just in Messenger, that Steve has now gone to a slick on his car instead of the radials, trying to go that much faster. So we'll see if Dan does that. I hope Dan comes back for 2024, and I hope we hear back from him. I mean, I know him and I are friends on Facebook, but I don't think we've ever had any cross paths where maybe he doesn't see Facebook Messenger. I don't know. We'll see. But
Yeah.
I was really late on writing this, so I messaged him last night. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But this car definitely has the opportunity to make a run at defending the title. These are some pictures that I grabbed from Miles of Mayhem Facebook page, Dan's Facebook page. I was doing all kinds of searching. That's probably the hardest part. And then photos by SW. I want to say thanks to them for taking the pictures of Miles of Mayhem that they did. The editing on those was amazing, and these are really cool. This shot here is probably my favorite, though, with the air filter out front. Kind of gives you an idea of the placement of the turbo on this
Right.
thing. And then, this shot here is definitely my favorite. But thank you to them for posting that up. That really helps us on our end. We typically don't like to grab photos from photographers unless we have their permission or can send them some funds to do that and take those pictures and things like that. So again, that's part of our plan in 2024 is to begin really thinking out far ahead how we want to do these, who we want to feature, and things like that. And then we can have those photographers that are on site actually get some photos for us for these events and things like that. So anyways, thank you to them for taking those. And guys, thanks again to Sweet Patina for being such a huge supporter of ours. We really appreciate them. And obviously the shirt in the top left corner for the folks that aren't listening or that are listening on the podcast, it says go fast parts before paint. 100% of our that's what I live. That's my lifestyle right there. So pretty cool stuff. And again, this is the last time we're going to do the Built for Dragon Drive on the news, man. Pretty crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
So there's a lot more news stuff we want to talk about. So this will be moving to the Wednesday night Dragon Drive show, so we can dig a little deeper on that stuff. Man, we're going to be tight finishing up for
Hmm.
in an hour. All right.
Yep.
So thank you again to Sweet Patina, guys. If you haven't done it yet, sweetpatina.com, 10% off when you use code DND57, or you can throw the items. They sell a lot of their stuff through Summit Racing, one of our other big supporters. You don't get the discount, but it's maybe easier for you to throw their products in your cart as you're ordering stuff, like your Dragon Drive Addiction apparel and merch and things like that. So, all right, let's do it, dude.
All right. Last time, we're also going to be doing the Howard's Cam comedy segment on the news. So just want to give a shout out to David Pierce. I saw him pop in here while you were going through the Built for Dragon Drive. So thanks for stopping in. All right. So this week, last one, we went a little ham on pictures here. So we'll go through these. A lot of Christmas, New Year's related kind of theme for today.
Nice.
Except for this one, because this one made me laugh because I saw this right when I came back from PRI.
Yeah.
My girl looking at me coming back from networking at PRI with 2 maxed out credit cards, no underwear, and the PRI flu.
Yep.
I had all my underwear and I didn't have maxed out credit cards, but I did have the PRI flu.
Yeah, we didn't have time to go shopping.
Right. The boss arrived at work in a brand new car. I said, "Wow, that's an amazing car." He replied, "If you work hard, put all your hours in, and strive for excellence, I'll get another one next year."
Yes, motivation.
How accurate is that?
Yeah.
You work hard and the boss takes the money.
Hey, there you go.
This one made me laugh too, and I never really thought about this, but car commercials that show a middle class husband buying his wife a car as a gift is so unrealistic. It's like, "Hey, honey, as a gift this year, I made a huge financial decision without your approval. You might want to look for a second job. Merry Christmas."
Man, there's a great I've seen it on Instagram and TikTok both, but there's a great one where it's like, "Look, honey, I got you a car." And she's like, "What the are you doing?" She's like, "You haven't worked in 6 months."
Yep.
He's
Yep,
like,
that's right.
but yep.
I seen another one that I didn't put in here though that was a picture like this with a car with a bow on it, and it said, "The car's a rental, but you can keep the bow. I just wanted to rub it into the neighbors or something."
That's awesome.
The one on the left here, "Be thoughtful and buy others nice Christmas presents, or buy race car parts."
Oh yeah, I'm hitting the buy race car parts. Listen, this turbo is good because then we'll get to spend more time together driving the truck around.
Yeah. And me, time to go Christmas shopping for the family. Me, buy them cheap stuff and spend the rest of your money on car parts.
That's right. I saw one thing while we're on this. I saw one thing that was a really good idea. Instead of like a white elephant or dirty Santa gift thing, you buy your own self a present, and then like in your circle of people, you open your own gift that you gave to yourself. So that way, there's no spending limit. Doesn't matter. You're
There
not
you
trying to
go.
find something for a cousin you don't even know anymore for $20.
That just reminded me, or just made me think of how fun would a white elephant be with all car guys?
Oof.
Like,
Oof.
wouldn't that be fun though? Like,
Yeah.
think about the white elephants that you do with coworkers and stuff. And
Yeah.
the stuff that I'm gonna buy, they're not gonna like. But
Yeah.
imagine if it was all car guys, how much fun that would be.
All right, we're gonna do it. That's gonna be the Saturday night ritual from now on at PRI.
Ooh, not a bad idea.
Yeah, is a white elephant, 20 $250 max.
I want a dragon for Christmas. Come on, be realistic. All right, what about all my 10mm sockets? What color dragon do you want?
Yeah.
Santa saw how you were driving at the track. You're getting a roll cage and a tow hook for Christmas.
Yes.
And then you got Santa for normal people, and then Santa for car guys.
Which is the UPS guy.
Yeah, shout out.
Delivering package. That's great.
Yep, shout out to UPS, USPS, FedEx for getting all of
Mhm.
our car parts here on time. I picked my own dirty Santa gift. I knew it was tools. I like it. I like to picture Santa in a red Trans Am running stoplight to stoplight, gapping fools with a 300 shot of Christmas spirit.
Yes.
Nailed it. The best way to spend Christmas cheer is a loud race car for all to hear.
That's right.
100% true. Guys can rebuild an engine, swap a transmission, and TIG weld with their eyes shut, and they still wrap presents like this.
Yeah.
All you need is tape, right?
I mean, hey, listen, they're going to tear it open anyways.
Tape will get it all closed up.
Yeah.
I want a 95 4G63 turbo Mitsubishi Eclipse with a NOS. You'll blow the welds on your intake, kid.
That's the Christmas story.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yep. When it's Christmas morning, you're expecting socks as usual, but you get car parts.
Yes.
Yep. Yep, that's the reaction. But we still need those socks and underwear, just saying.
Yeah, because
So,
I'm not buying those. I need those as gifts, but I also need car parts as gifts.
yeah, it's our only time of year where we get new ones.
Yeah.
Christmas is not all the Grinch is stealing this year.
That's fine. It's him with the
Well,
catalytic converter in his
Yeah,
hand.
yeah, watch your catalytic converters. It's been a rough year.
That's awesome.
This one's for everybody that's watching in the chat. So this year, as in 2024, I do what to my vehicle? What is it that you're finally going to do this year? We've only got a couple more slides left, so if you're watching,
Drive it.
put it in the comments. What are you going to get done this year? My New Year's resolution is the same as yours, to lose as much weight as possible. And for
It's a
those
picture.
listening, yeah, it's not weight as in me as a person. It's gut in the race car.
Yep.
But I could stand to lose a few as well though. Make the
Yeah,
car
I
lighter.
saw a post yesterday. Donnie Streetcar was cleaning out all the dynamite and stuff from his car, the sound deadening. He's like, "Don't put the sound deadening in your car. It's horrible to take out when you're trying to lose weight."
Oh
Everybody was
yeah.
like, "Just turn it up 1 more pound." And he's an NA guy, so that doesn't work.
Got to use dry ice on that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, got two paths here. New year, new me, or same shit, different year.
Yep.
I think
I'm
we
gonna
know
go
where
the
we're
rain.
going. That's right. Last year's New Year's resolution, finish the project car. This year's New Year's resolution, finish the project car.
Yep.
How many of that is people watching right now?
Oh man, all of them.
Yeah, or at least you and I for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was just thinking. Like, I mean, I haven't driven my old truck since April of 2022, and I haven't driven the cart since September of 2021.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've at least driven mine. I drove both of them last year, just not very far.
Yeah. I got to get those fixed bad.
And my last one, this is perfect way to end. It's amazing the number of great people in my life I wouldn't have met if it wasn't for drag racing.
Man, that's so true. So true. Yeah.
That it is.
We announced Wednesday night the charity we were working with for the circuit, Children's Haven to Southwest Missouri. And I'm telling you, I just want those kids to know that the drag racing community is like a big family. So, if that's why we support children's charities so much, is because of that. Like the drag racing community is amazing. So yeah, it's pretty
Absolutely.
cool. Lifelong friends, Uncle Jonathan Stonecipher, Uncle Stony. Yeah, I wouldn't know any of this without him. So appreciate that,
Yeah.
and I met him because of this stuff.
Yep. So that is the last of the Howard's Cam comedy segment. Again, this is the last time it's going to be on the news. That is also moving over to the show.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah,
it. That's
and
it, man.
this is the last episode of the year, dude. and we're
Yeah.
not taking any time off, but at some point we're going to need a break.
Yeah.
But not right now, friends, because you know what? It's time to turn it up. 29 days until sick week, 115 days until the circuit, which makes me just almost get a little bit anxious.
And
And
then and six events that are going to have registration in the next like 15 days.
man, insane. We'll bring it on. I did see that one of the guys from Big Dog Brawl, the tracking crews, had messaged me on Facebook. I'll be reaching out to them. We'll kind of get a story on what's going on there. And when we can have them on, we'll start setting that up. And we'll keep you guys updated, guys. I'm really excited about what's going to happen in 2024 with the Drag and Drive News and Drag and Drive Show and all the other cool stuff. For all the folks that are listening on the podcast, thank you so much for that support over there. That adds so much complexity to our entire operation here. But I feel like it's worth it because I'm a podcast listener myself, and so that's the way I generally consume all of my information. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
See you guys in 2024.